Hi all, if you'd like to see how I built this 30cm Nano low energy, no CO2 injected tank, stick around and enjoy. Hello, AQUARIUM here and welcome to my adventures in aquascaping. So in today's video I'm going to show you how I built this tank. I'm going to talk you through it, covering everything from the actual concept to the plants used, etc. So if you enjoy this type of video, please give it a big thumbs up, try and watch to the end, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. So enjoy you guys, let's crack on. So the actual concept of the aquarium, I wanted to create something that was dark, mysterious, because I'm a big fan of horror fantasy movies, and one of my favourite movies is Pan's Labyrinth, an actual movie poster of that. I've always loved. It's exactly that, dark, mysterious. So I always picture that in my head, and that's what I wanted to create in this little Nano aquascape. It does look from a distance just dark and shady, but it actually draws you in. When you get closer, you see loads of details within the aquarium. So yeah, that was the actual concept. Dark, mysterious, and think of Pan's Labyrinth, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's the concept. I started to build a mound with the aquarium soil. So in this case, it's aquasolum soil from CChem, which I always use. Great soil, always grows plants well. Yeah, I wanted this mound to place the actual hardscape on, but also create a sense of depth. So it's building a bit height towards the back. And later down the line, you'll see I'll be adding some decorative sand, which is ADA Mekon sand, and add that a bit later. But in the meantime, build that mound with the soil, and then it's on to the hardscape. So the hardscape in this case, what looks like a huge piece of talawa wood. I use this alongside a couple of other pieces later down the line. But this I knew was going to create loads of shade, so it was kind of deliberate. So I placed it in and kind of like slanted it forward to create like a dark cave, mysterious area. That was the aim with this. So yeah, huge piece, and obviously loads above the water column. But I kind of like the feel, the creepy, mysterious feel of that, and that's why I used this wood. It does look like a tree, I suppose, the base of a tree branching out towards a water surface, and that's the look we're getting with that. To support that wood and also add some additional features and details and also help hold the soil back, I used my favourite stone, which is Ceria stone. I say favourite, I've got a couple of favourites, but this is definitely one of the top. So Ceria stone, or mini landscape rock as it's known. Loads of detail in this stone, and that's why I decided to use this. So using some fairly large pieces to create the actual path into a cave kind of look. That's what I was aiming for there. So, and obviously using smaller pieces to add more detail. I really wanted to create a detailed front area with the sand, the stone, the cave, that kind of thing. I also wanted to get some height. So to get that height, I seen a trick on another video. I can't remember which aquascape it was. I think it was a guy from Germany who appeared on Green Aqua's channel. Green Aqua are a huge aquascaping specialist store in Hungary. This guy uses this technique and I thought it was really good. So using filter floss, kind of just push that in there to create the path and create some height. Once I was in place, I just used a liquid glue. In this case, I think I had some cheap liquid glue I just used all of that, but it was really inexpensive. Filled it full of glue and then sprinkle the sand on top, and that helps create that raised bank which heads in towards the base of the wood into the stone to create that cave. A good thing with that as well, because you know it's secure, the sand's not going to move during maintenance, and that was a good thing as well. So it's just a technique I want to try, and I have to say it worked really well, so it's something I'll be using in future. So that's hopefully a good little tip for you. If you haven't seen it on the Green Aqua video, that's where I first seen it. But yeah, what a great idea. Next was to add some smaller details, and for this I had some spare red moor root hanging around, so I just snapped pieces off that. Just small pieces which I want, and I started placing that in certain positions to look like roots coming away from the base of the tree, lapping over the stones, in between the stones, etc. Later down the line I did make small tweaks and changes. I added pieces, took some away, because as time went on I thought that's not quite right, and maybe there's a bit too much there, not enough detail, etc. So it's always good to do that anyways. I think your scape always develops as it grows in, as time goes on, and that's something you want to do, is add things, take things away, tweak things. It's just a natural part of the process of aquascaping, which is again what makes it fun. Okay, hardscape complete. I was fairly happy with how it turned out. What was quite tricky was with the wood, so much immersed wood was getting in place, so obviously I'm not going to catch myself on it all the time. I poke my eyes out, because I nearly have done, to be honest, especially on this piece here. This piece coming out, the amount of times I've caught that, so maybe that in future that's something I'll not do again, try and keep things towards the back, but it's just how it went, and that's how the wood I had ended up. But I still love the look, it's just got to be careful of that. But yeah, and obviously try to position the wood so it was off the glass. I didn't want too much touch in the front, so that took a bit of tweaking as well. I actually had to snap and cut a couple of pieces off just to make sure our maintenance was easy and I could get the front of the glass to clean the glass. Obviously siphon the sand and stuff like that, so I was just wary of that, be careful of that as well, because with it being such a small aquarium, you need that room for maintenance. But I was overall happy with how it turned out. Hardscape was ready, good to go, so it was time to plant. So after a good spray down, plants I chose to use are Bucephalandra Kedigang, Limnophylla zesiflora, which is a stem plant, which is like a weed. So that's an excellent plant to use because it soaks up all those excess nutrients, help preventing nuisance algae. So that's why I use the zesiflora. Nice bushy plant for the back, easy to trim, grows really quick, hassle-free. Because stems when they grow in tend to look a bit leggy over time, I use Sterigine repens in front of those, so as those grow in, the Sterigine repens is going to grow as a nice close knit bunch of plants in front of the leggy parts of the stems, if that makes sense. And finally I use Java moss just to give it that aged, creepy feel as time goes on. So I think moss was a must in this one. Simply Java moss, because Java moss grows really easy without CO2, with low levels of light, and it's one of the mosses that stays attached. It doesn't come loose all the time, so it's good for that use. I've only recently started using it. Other scapers and other friends I know use it quite often. I thought, yeah, I'm going to start using it for that reason. Later down the line, I did decide to add more plants. I wasn't intending in using a terrestrial plant, but I had a pothos plant. I took a few cuttings off and just used that, so the roots will actually grow in the water, and again then will soak up excess nutrients and help with the overall water quality. But I thought it did look a little bit bare above the water, so that's why I added those, and just see how that goes with pothos. I know it's one of the easiest terrestrial plants to grow immersed above aquariums. I also decided to add some hydrocotyl tripartita I wanted that for the creeping effect. Again, creeping, dark, mysterious. See how that goes. So I just squeezed that in some crevices just under the water surface to see how that gets on, and so far so good. It's grown in. And I think the contrast with the dark leaf of the Bucephalandra with the light green leaf of the hydrocotyl looks really good, so I'm glad I did add it. The Bucephalandra I just squeezed in tiny little crevices in the stone, between the rocks, glued a couple of pieces, but any little gaps, that's where I try to put a plant. Initially I didn't know what livestock I was going to use, and after asking friends, recommendations, I decided to go with the Emerald Eye Rasbora, which I'm glad I did because I absolutely love them. Stunning little school of those, and with the light colour and just a little bit iridescent green, the Emerald Eye, the light colouring, I think they go really well with the dark look of the aquarium. I've got a couple of ottos in there and also horn neorite snails, which will help keep on top of the algae. So that's it. That's how I created this aquascape. So I will leave you with some nice footage of the aquascape a couple of weeks down the line, how it's looking, how it's going, and hopefully you can just enjoy that. I didn't cover any equipment in this video because the next video will be a full rig rundown, all the equipment I've used on this aquarium. So if you like that sort of thing, that'll be next week's video where I'll cover the lighting in more detail, filtration, etc. But for now, enjoy this last bit of footage with some nice music, dark, mysterious music. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, really do appreciate it. Till next time, see you later.